Share screen, share presentation, share. Hopefully everybody can see this. Yes, this is not the right view for it, but we're gonna present. Presenter view? Does that work? Yes, it does. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so, okay, can you see the PowerPoint? Oh no, I don't like this. It's skipping. Okay. All right, that view was skipping, so we're not going to use that view. We're just going to keep it real cute with Canva. Okay, so hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. While you guys get in and get settled, again, put how you're feeling in the chat. Let me know how your day's been, how your life has been, and in the background, turn on this live stream. There we go. Okay, so today's session is the truth about fear. Oh, get healthy. Yay. Okay. So we're talking about the truth about fear today. This is like one of my favorite topics to talk about. It is, people don't consider fear when they think about their lives in a way. And I think because of the type of work that I do, that I'm always faced with like my clients' fears, their limiting beliefs, their stagnation, their ideas about themselves that limit themselves and keep themselves small. And I think that because of that, I wanted to make sure that I spoke about this and I spoke about this often so that people kind of felt empowered, if you will, to do whatever it is they want to do. So, in this conversation, I'm going to give you guys a strategy, right? The strategy that I use in my practice with my clients, the strategy that I teach in my group. I'm going to give you guys the tools of this methodology that I have called Fear Forward, where we go and you take your fears, you assess them, and you turn it into a tangible result or outcome for your life. Okay. So that's what we're doing here today. This live stream might not work, and it's totally fine because it can just be asked for the link. Okay. So, because we're doing that today, I want you to really take a second. I'm going to say a prayer like I always do. And I want you to take a second and to consider, right, how you're feeling, how, like, what's been coming up for you in your life, the things that you want to do, but you haven't let yourself have, the things you want to do, that you haven't let yourself do, the feelings that you want to feel, that you haven't let yourself feel. And just kind of consider that. And I'm going to go ahead and open up with a prayer. Okay, here we go. Mother, Father God, I want to thank you for this beautiful day. I want to thank you for allowing us to exist here where we get to share in collective consciousness and new ideas and learn. I ask that you prepare all souls, all hearts, all minds to receive what is for them, leaving the rest, feeling no pressure to show up any kind of way, feeling no pressure to exist any kind of way, and just being here in the moment, in the now, excited, grateful, appreciative, and just grounded in what they're going to allow themselves to have going forward. This is something more for the highest of all souls we're destined to impact, including our own. And with that, we say amen, ashe, and so it is. Okay, so here we go, y'all. Let me drop this, share this screen, this screen going in the background, the PowerPoint. That is not what I meant to click. Can you see yourself too? Are you seeing yourself on my screen? Okay, good, perfect. Okay, so the truth about fear, how to make fear work for you and have the 4-step roadmap to results. So, like I said, I'm Tanisha, also known as Asha. I am the founder and CEO of Your Other Mind, which is a consultancy and business and life coaching, spiritual coaching, business coaching program and company. I'm a transformation coach and mentor. I'm a strategic operations consultant, a spiritual strategist, an EFT tapping expert, 1/4 emotional projector, all the things, right? And I am just someone who loves to talk about the things that people don't like to talk about. It's like kind of like my jam, right? I feel really excited and empowered to help people find out what is the thing that's been bothering them, what is the thing that's been keeping them in place, and how to move forward from that spot. Because oftentimes it feels like we're not enough. It feels like it's too much. It feels like we don't know what's going on and so forth. So we limit ourselves from having a really beautiful life experience when we're meant to have that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the truth about fear. We're going to talk about these different strategies. I'm going to give you guys some really practical tips. And then at some point, of course, I called you guys in, I attracted you. So I'm going to, at the end, make an invite, of course, to join my world if any of this speaks to you. But more so than that, I want this to feel like an opportunity to open your eyes and to shift perspective quickly. I coach my clients all the time that, you know, the ability to shift perspective often, quickly, and decisively is a big act of self-trust, self-appreciation, and self-love, right? And so your ability to not only lean in, right, but to really open your perspective and say, okay, I'm going to allow myself to believe something different by making quick decisions is going to be masterful. And a lot of, because they are so stuck on control and they're like limited ideas of themselves, they don't let themselves move quickly. And so I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys to feel like you can trust yourself, that you can trust your perspective, you can trust your heart, your spirit, and everything that you guys were given as tools. Okay. So Harvard Business Group said that for entrepreneurs, courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to persist in spite of it. I love this statistic, I love this data, and I love the language of it. Because people, you know, a lot of people in the world will tell you, don't be afraid, just do it. And that's great. It's great advice. It kind of matches the same thing that I say, like move quickly, often as possible. But what they don't ever tell you to do is how, right? And the thing that most people get stuck on when they're moving through change and they're moving through emotion and discomfort is the how. We want to know how it works, what to do, when to do it. And something about the language, the ability to persist in spite of it, says that, like, you know, with something else, that you can take this energy and you can use it in a different kind of way. Okay. And I feel like because of that, this other stat, 75% of business ventures fail within the first 10 years, is a mirror of that. That people let their fears perpetuate and create their actions. And because they are so aligned with their fears, they never really tap into their highest potential in their life. They never tap into the highest potential for their business, and they never tap into the highest potential for all of their goals and dreams and hopes and desires. And we're humans living a spiritual, we're spirits living a human experience. And so we all have lots and lots of desires. Okay, so here's the next one. The 2022 stat, I can't remember where I got this one from, but 43% of people between the ages of 18 to 64 saw good opportunities, but were too afraid of failure to actually start a business. This statistic is up 10% from 2016. So we all experienced COVID. We all experienced and we saw like, okay, I could start a bread business from my living room. I could make scarves. But everyone was like, you know, something about this is terrifying, right? And we see the statistics go up, which is really kind of weird because it's like, shouldn't that have gone down? We all had 2 years of pause. We had 2 years of practice. But the thing about it is, and the idea that I want to introduce you to is collective consciousness. By collective consciousness, I mean collective attention. Our society is shaped by collective decisions. We have decided how we will participate in society. We decided how we will participate in, you know, one-on-one interactions, and we participate in work, and we participate in jobs, and we participate in money coming in this kind of way, right? Those are collective consciousness agreements that we have made with society at large. And most of us, when you are bought into and participating in an idea that does not originate with you, you have a sense of performativeness where you're like, okay, when I have to show up, do the things, be the person, right? And now I have to be perfect. For this system to work, I want to be perfect. That gets rid of all of your creativity, all of your ideas, all of your hopes, right? And it makes the focus what everyone else wants to do. And that is how the fear of failure really comes in. It's about being perfect or perfectionism in the idea of what we believe as a whole society. And so now you're not focused on honoring yourself, you're focused on, okay, well, we said we're going to do this at this time, and now we're doing this at this time. So life looks like this at this time, right? And that's what happens to most of us. That is what happens with most of us, okay? Sorry. All right. All right. This statistic should put everyone on pause. 98% of people die without ever fulfilling their dreams. And then 75% of people think that they're not living up to their creative potential. We always talk about the 2%, right? The 2% of the world who has all the wealth, all the acumen, all the whatever, right? We always talk about, but we never look at the inverted opposite of that. So if there's 2% of the world who has all the wealth, all the money, all the things, then what happens to the 98%? And we have it right here. Most of us, most people will leave this earth never doing half of the desires that they have. They won't change their lives the way they want. They won't start the business they want. They won't elevate their career the way they want. And they will never have the experiences that they want to have just because they don't believe it's possible. And while that's happening, most people do recognize that they're not living up to their creative potential. And by potential, I want you to substitute that word with desires. Most people do not live up to their creative desires, the things that they would choose for themselves if nothing else mattered, the things that they would choose for themselves if they knew it was okay to express and live a life just the way that they saw it, just because they could. Okay? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about this. And so this is why the conversation is really important to me. Why I keep having it so frequently. Because we need to be able to give people room to move shit out the way. I curse. To move shit out the way, to become fearless and to do what they got to do. Okay. So this is just some stats about who I am and all these things. So I'm going to run through those real quick. I had a client go from nothing, no idea, no clients, nothing, to a sold out retreat in 45 days. I had another client who was able to change her prices, increase her rates, hire operations VA in about 8 weeks, and move to Honduras, complete her move to Honduras. She was already doing Honduras before me, but it helped, right? I had another client who secured her largest deal, and she also has 5 team members. And the deal that she closed is about a 50K increase, and she's been about a month. I have another client whose past whole year, she made her whole year's revenue in 8 months the following year, and which led to 161% increase. No, I'm sorry. She made her whole year the previous year in 6 months, and then enjoyed a 161% revenue increase in 8 months. So by the time 8 months in, she had gone from only completing $100,000 the previous year to $250,000 in her business. And she was securing a warehouse to put her actual shop in. So let's get to the work. All right. So when it comes to the method I'm going to teach you guys, the roadmap, the 4-step roadmap is a methodology that I teach inside my programs with my clients, right? It's like day one, this is what we're doing. This is how you get unstuck. And it's called the Fear Forward Method, okay? The Fear Forward Method. Tanisha York Allen taught you that. Your other mod, I taught you that, okay? Just remember that. You don't have to call it this, but just want to make you know, this is what it's called. And so in being afraid, you have to be willing to get unstuck. And the thing that keeps most of us where we are is an unwillingness to just say a thing plain. Now, the thing about saying a thing plain is if you know energy, if you know universal law, right? What something is, it just is until it isn't, right? So if a tree goes in the forest, that tree is going to be that tree is going to be there until it just isn't. It doesn't help anyone to say, oh, that tree isn't there. Don't look at it. It's not really there, right? Because I'm looking at it very clearly and it's there. Okay, that's a really physical example. So what do you think happens with your emotions, right? If you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling doubtful, insecure, and you never say that thing, what do? That thing still exists. It's just somewhere else within you, right? Now it's in your heart and you're sad and frustrated. It's in your brain and you're worried and overwhelmed, right? It's in your body and your back hurts or your chest hurts or your feet hurt. That feeling hasn't gone away. It's unexpressed and it's there, right? But if you can get clear about how you feel, if you could find the language to name it accurately, right? And we'll get to the naming of things. And if you can name it quickly, you will find yourself in a lot better position than where you were when you were holding it all in. Because again, that tree doesn't cease to exist, right? Just because you say don't look at it. It's still very much there. And just like nature, that tree is giving off a vibration. So is that feeling. And because those feelings are giving off a vibration, you are then getting a vibrational response back, right? So that trees in the woods and they're saying, I'm a tree, I'm a tree, I'm a tree, I'm a tree. And you're like, don't look at it, right? But I see it though. That tree is creating a forest that says other trees grow around me. Same thing with your feelings. If you're feeling upset, stagnant, doubtful, whatever, those feelings are there, right? Those feelings are going to say, bring me more doubt, more stagnation, more whatever, until you name it. Because when you can name an emotion and name a feeling and call it what it is just like people calling me Tanisha. Right? When my parents named me Tanisha, it was like, that's the calling card. That is what amplifies the energy. It wakes me up. I say, huh? Who? What? I respond. Right? And so when you can say, I feel sad, there is a response that comes out from that. When you can say, I feel upset, there is a response that comes from that. Because now that you have named it, you can see very clearly what you are dealing with and what is there to be moved, transmuted, transformed, and turned into something else. So what I want you to do, step one, is to name the feeling. What I want you to stop doing is hiding those feelings because they do not cease to exist. Emotions are energetic and we are energetic beings. Everything on this earth has a vibration. Everything on this earth has a vibration that it's in our right to find and match for. And so you have to get comfortable naming that feeling, okay? That's going to be step one always. When I say find the language, a lot of people, again, collective consciousness, go back to that idea, collective attention, is we aren't really good at saying how we feel. And because of that, our tongue doesn't find the words often. So we'll say, oh, I feel angry. I feel indifferent. I want to challenge you to start to learn other ways to express how you feel. If you have to look up an emotions chart, if you have to look up what words mean, start to give yourself permission to do that. Because again, it's about the energy. What you are trying to tap into is the right energetic cord and idea to pull on. Because if you can have the right one come up front and center, that is the energy that's going to change. And when you change something in nature, you kind of get rid of it, right? So one of these things that I want to tell you guys is that all the energy that will ever exist has already been created in our universe, period. That's like science, right? We're talking about like quantum physics. All energy that will ever exist is already exists. So the energy of your sadness, it can't be destroyed, but it can be changed to something else. And that's what we're doing, okay? So step two, decide how you want to feel, okay? So if you can say that you feel sad, you can pick something else. And this is why, who had that song? What's his name? Lil Nas X had that song, Call Me By My Name. Call me by my name, right? If you can say that you're sad, you can see it plain as day. And then what comes into your consciousness, your attention, is the sadness. And it's like, damn, what makes up this? I'm sad. Look, do I want to feel sad? I don't. Do I have to stay here though? I don't. Right? You don't have to stay here. You don't have to be here. You can choose something else. But had you not let yourself have the awareness of knowing how you felt, you are literally not capable of having the awareness of how you would feel instead. I'm gonna bring that back. In law of attraction, right? Energy begets energy. Everybody's always talking about law of attraction. Things, I want to get things. Great. But you have to be so clear about what you want. And the thing that happens when people hide emotions, right, is that it doesn't bring clarity because now your system is giving off a frequency that says sadness, anger, joy, sadness, anger, joy. And we can't give you anything, so we just give you all of it. The universe, spirit, God, whatever, brings you all of it. So you're getting anger confirmed, you're getting sadness confirmed, you're getting joy confirmed. But in your ability to name the bad feeling, the uncomfortable feeling, the stagnation, automatically you create a reality where something else exists that you can reach for and make a tangible outcome. Because sadness is like, okay, I don't want to feel sadness. So what would I rather feel? Well, the word that I feel like saying is happiness. Happiness. Then that begins to conjure up a picture and an image and an idea and things that you're like, oh, I remember that feeling. I remember that emotion. I remember that experience of what happiness looks like in real time. And that is where you're trying to get to. You have to give your brain permission to ping pong and make decisions. So I can't remember which law it is, but it's one of these laws of nature that says for every action, there's an equal or lesser reaction. And I'm going to affirm that and bring that into this space. For every idea, there is an equal and opposite idea that exists, right? In our universe, we have a lot of binaries, a lot of yins and yangs. But what it's really highlighting is that with the creation of one, also begets the creation of another that is equal or opposite to, right? And so if you know how you want to feel, by saying the negative feeling, there's a feeling that will counteract that feeling for you. And you can apply that in your life or in your business. It doesn't really matter. You go to work, you have a really shitty boss, you can say, damn, I hate this place, it's awful. Do I want to hate this place or do I want to love this place? Simple, right? I can just pick something else. So what I want you to stop doing is telling yourself that you can't get there. That is a lie. It takes step one first, which is naming the feeling. Step two, for you to decide how you would rather feel instead. What is the counteraction to that? What is the opposite of that? That if you could choose for yourself with absolute clarity and choose quickly, this is what you would choose. Okay. Step three, pick an action to match the feeling. So by now you can kind of see a flow. We're establishing a flow, right? We have the negative, we have the positive, or the opposite, right? The negative, the positive. And then we have the action. So in energetics, in business strategy, you know, if you have something happening in a business, there's going to always be an outcome, right? And so you guys came here to figure out how to get to your outcomes quicker, right? In energy, when you have the idea of sadness, we perform sadness really well, right? Like, so we're going to use the energy of sadness as a negative emotion. You got up today, you have to go to work, or you in your business, and you're like, look, I'm sad, this thing's not working out. Cool. You can think of so many other things that make you sad. Once you name that you're sad, oh my God, you can think of everything. You know, that movie. If I want to feel that sadness, I can watch that movie. If I want to feel that sadness, I can talk to my partner about this really challenging thing that they're going to get on my nerves about. If I want to feel the sadness, I could call that friend that I know always ignores me, right? And we do that, right? We do that as people because energy begets energy, right? So what we're doing at any given time is looking for a vibrational match to affirm that which we already feel. Be clear what I'm saying. We're looking for confirmation of what we feel, which means that energy is alive, it's active, and it's doing what it needs to do, right? It's moving through your system. And you're just like, I just feel so many things, right? And it's like, not really though. You feel so many things, but everything's so sad, Tanisha. Not really, though. It's sad because you're choosing sadness and you're performing sadness. And because you're choosing it and performing it, all of your attention is on sadness. So you know what you're going to see? More sadness. If you're looking at your business and you're like, oh my God, my business isn't doing what it's doing, I'm so sad. You're going to find more reasons to be sad if you stay there. Which is why step 2 is so important. Because let's say the counteraction is happiness. Now you're like, okay, happy. Now you can feel that happiness. You can be like, okay, well, that movie makes me feel really happy. That talking to this friend, that friend that always affirms me, makes me feel really happy. Oh, this makes me feel really happy, right? Your imagination starts to tune its attention to find things to validate and justify and support the happiness. That is important, right? It is so important. Because your fears will tell you that there is no way out, there is no way over, and there's nothing to do. But when you choose a different emotion and your imagination starts to open up, right? When you choose that for yourself, you will get to see with clarity what else there could be there for you. It literally opens up a portal. So when I'm talking about step 3, we're talking about creating a roadmap for success. I need you to pick an action that matches the feeling that you would rather feel. So if we were sad about work, work's kind of shitty, my boss can't stand them, but I would rather feel happy. And I know that my life is about happiness and success, and I want to feel more successful here. What would I do here? What action would I take here that would match an action of happiness, that would give me happiness? And for you, it might be to go to your manager, talk to them or whatever, create blocks on your schedule. Boom, happiness. But now because you have the blocks on your schedule, you're able to get shit done, right? So let's say you have a block now in the morning that's like no emails, no calls, your manager's okay with it, you're cool, you're good, right? That block has been created. And now it's like, shit, I got all my work done in this 2-hour block. What else would make me feel happy? Well, I do got the side hustle that I ignore. I have a side hustle that I ignore. Well, I do have a partner that I would love to spend more time with. I want to do something there. What's the action that will bring me happiness for this partner that I ignore? What's the action that will bring me happiness for the side hustle that I keep hidden? If you're a business owner, I'll give you another example, right? Let's say you're frustrated because your money ain't money yet, right? So you're sad, you would feel happy, you would rather feel happy. What action matches that happiness for you? For you, it might be, oh, well, I would love, you know what, Tanisha, what make me feel really happy? I would love to just email 10 people and be like, hey, can you hire me? Oh, and can you refer me to someone? So not only does that action push you out of your comfort zone, right? And gives you something to do going forward that moves you forward actively, but it also potentially solves the problem of what made you sad in the first place. Do you understand? Are you seeing the journey? So you have the negative emotion, you have the sadness, then you have the negative emotion, the positive emotion, the outcome. What you're asking yourself for the action is, what action can I take in X area of my life that would bring me the feeling of happiness? Because feelings, emotions, they're currency. It is your energetic bankroll. Your ability to practice happiness, your ability to imagine what it feels like to be connected to happiness gives you the energy to move forward anyway. I'll give you guys a really, really human example. I think most people on the internet streets know that I was diagnosed with PTSD when I was 23. And part of having PTSD is, well, at least back then, especially before I like done a whole bunch of work, a lot of this energy work that I'm teaching you guys to heal myself was suicidal ideations. And that's a trigger warning. So I apologize for anyone that might be triggered, but there's a point in all of this. And so I would have ideations when it was really, really bad. And I had a day, maybe back in like October. Entrepreneurship is a journey. And I was really struggling. It was so sad. I felt so upset. I felt so um, immovable. I felt overwhelmed. I felt just doubtful for some stuff that was happening in my personal life. And because I've been teaching this Spirit Forward methodology for a long time, and I've been doing the work for myself for my own increase, my own expansion in life, I was like, well, what would I rather feel instead? Right? I had done my business all day. I think that day all I had the capacity to do from where I was standing was lay in the bed and cry. And I was like, okay, well, turn on TV will make me happy. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But if I could show up in some way, what would I rather do? And from being happy or feeling proud of myself, which is the emotion I identified, I want to feel proud of myself. I was like, okay, well, what makes me feel really proud is if I pulled up my laptop really quick, wrote a quick email, I sent it to 10 possible collaborators. And that's exactly what I did. I was on my computer, tears still streaming. I was like, send, 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 send. And I just lay it back down. And then when I woke up the next day, I was like, oh snap, I did a thing. And I had somebody respond over here, and I had somebody respond over here, and I had someone respond over here. Because it wasn't about so much of the volume of the overwhelm and the doubt and the pain that I was feeling. It was about my ability to take that energy and turn it into something else. And what also happened that night was because I was so proud of myself that that emotion had gone from like struggle to success really quickly. In about an hour, I was able to go have a conversation with my partner and be like, let's talk about these things. And by the end of the night, I was fine. So it would have been really easy for me to stay stuck in my limitations and not move myself forward and not take any action in my business that day. It would have been totally justifiable, totally understandable. I could have not moved anything forward in my life, my personal relationship. It would have been totally understandable, justifiable. You were scared, girl, you were going through some shit. But I found the feeling. And because I found the feeling, I found the inspiration for the action. And you know what I had to stop doing? Procrastinating. There's a caveat that I have about procrastination. Procrastination is not this thing that we're going to beat ourselves up for anymore. Procrastination is what happens when you let those emotions get stuck and you're judging yourself for feeling these emotions in the first place. It's less about the action and about the permission to set yourself free. So stop procrastinating. Right? This is something that was on my to-do list for at least a week and a half. And it just kept rolling over, kept rolling over, kept rolling over this action that I took. But because I found the feeling, I found the action and I moved myself forward. Are you getting why we call it the Fear Forward method now? Because it came out with a tangible result. And not only that, but because I made this a thing, I had the energetic bankroll. So by the next day, I was able to look back on yesterday and be like, damn, I created a new frequency for myself, a new vibration for myself, and more bankroll for myself to show up. And that is huge. Okay. And so the last step in this 4-step process is create the system. You have to create a system. You have to get systematic about yourself, right? Here at Your Other Mind, we talk about spiritual strategy all the time. We talk about operation strategy all the time. We talk about route. I meant to put routine strategy all the time, right? Because the only reason that people create SOPs or standard operating procedures at work or process is because what it does is it takes all the guesswork out of it. It says that if you want to accomplish X, here's all the steps you have to do to accomplish X. Follow it in this order, right? When you can create the pipeline of your work, your emotions to the desired feeling, to the action, you have to be able to rinse and repeat that thing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And the way that we do it here at Your Other Mind is through spirit, through operations, and through routine. There's not anything that you can't do in your life as long as you have a system. Because a system will highlight to you when it's time to do upgrades. A system will highlight to you when it's time to like check in. A system will highlight to you when things are broken. A system will highlight to you performance of a thing. And remember at the beginning, I said performance of a thing is what we do when we participate in collective consciousness. We're always performing something. And the thing about the fear forward method is that I need you to start performing you. You need to be so good at performing the real you, those real emotions, that real sadness, that real frustration, that real anger, so you can get to that real joy, that real satisfaction, that real appreciation, so you can get to that real action in your career, your life, your business, your partnerships, right? So that your life stops looking like an accident and starts looking like a real success story. Because your spiritual strategy is right. You're like, okay, these are all the things I need to inspire this level of clarity. Operational strategy is right. You're saying, okay, in my career, I know what the bag is. The bag is step 1, step 2, step 3. I need to get there, right? And here's how I get here because I'm clear. My routine strategy is these are the routines that enable flow and balance. And here we don't call it, we don't believe in life work balance. Here we believe in life balance. Another thing that we'll talk about at some point in the universe of your other mind. Life balance. There's no separation between you and the things that you see. So stop living your life as if it's an accident and start living it on purpose. So your homework, your assignment, your agreement, if you choose to participate after this call, is I want you to take the things, which is why I had you bring them up in the beginning, and think about where you allow limitations to be. What are the biggest fears that have been active and they have been stalling you and keeping you stuck? And from those biggest fears, you're going to find and create a pathway to the ideal emotion, the positive, clear thing that you would rather feel. Right? And from that space, what is the action that you would take? What would you do? And then how can you systematize this to make it the most easeful so you don't fuck it up? And not fuck it up like, oh my God, blaming you fuck it up, but fuck it up because you're scared and you're sabotaging. How can you make it so easy to rinse and repeat, to rinse and repeat, to rinse and repeat, and become so on purpose? And the thing that I want to say, I'm going to bring this back up to this top slide. The thing that I want to say, I'm going to actually take the slides off. The things that I want to say is that when you can get to becoming everyone in my universe becomes a conscious creator of the life that they're creating, right? When you enter your other mind's world, Tanisha's world, you are becoming a conscious creator, a conscious participant in your experience. I teach people through the modality of business because business is easy. I teach through the lens of business because business means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's very big on our society totem pole, right? Of what's important. We understand career, we speak career, we speak business, we speak these languages because we know that money is important. We know that houses and things are important and they're great. And those are the tools that we use to get there, either a business or a career. You have to have one of them, right? But when you enter this world, this work gets to look a little different. And what you find is that all of it is energetic, it's universal, and it's infinite. And so your ability to harness your own power of attention, intention, right? It makes a difference. And so what you're really learning how to do, we talk about that statistic of 98% of people never get the shit that they want. They die without fulfilling their dreams. It's because 98% of people are only looking at one layer of their existence. And it's your job to look at all the layers, find the balance, and allow yourself to be yourself everywhere, right? And it's going to be in your ability to be yourself everywhere that you're going to find the peace, the joy, the presence, the whatever, right? It's because you're letting yourself be expansive with your life. And then, of course, naturally, when you're happier, naturally, when you're more satisfied, naturally, when things are in alignment, naturally, when you're letting yourself be yourself, you're going to find that you have a lot more tangible outcomes in the 3D. What we're talking about is being able to control your energetic currency, meaning being able to control your thoughts, right? Being able to support those emotions, being able to support your actions through real tangible things that you can hold on to and grab. And that is the journey that you guys are on. So this methodology, this 4-step process can be applied anywhere in your life. You can use it on anything. I promise you, if you try it after a time, it'll work. Right? And like I said, and if this is speaking to you, if you're like, yo, Tanisha, I can't even comprehend whatever. I want to be in your world. I want to let you guys know that you can at any time reach out to me via DM, send me an email, and you can reach out to my team. Oh, yes. Oh my God. I'm gonna circle back to them because I do remember them. And if I don't know if this transcript is gonna give it to me right now. To your question about the yeah. So I'm gonna come back to those questions. I got you. So yeah, like your ability to apply this method anywhere, and if it fits, right? If you're like, Tanisha, you blew my mind, girl. I don't know. I hear you. I don't understand you. I want to encourage you to send a DM, send an email. Let me and my team know so we get on the phone with you, talk to you, and see how we can help you, right? Because I want everyone to be able to graduate to the 2% of people who live a life full of their creative desires, their best ideas, their unlimited potential, their excitement. It's that kind of time. And if your business or your career is the thing that you want to use, right, then come on in. But it's going to be your ability to master your own energy, your ability to sustain your creative ideas through practice, through applied methods, through spiritual strategy, and practical proven 10 years of operations consulting from me to get you there. And it's fine. So this needs to feel like a celebration of where you're headed. And so the homework questions, I believe I was saying that I want you guys to take what you learned here and ask yourself, where are you not feeling satisfied? What are the fears, the biggest fears? I would challenge you to get to 3, to make it the top 3. What are your biggest fears right now? And the second question is, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? What piece of your brilliance would you allow into the world? What piece of your creativity would you allow to shine? What pieces of you would be visible if you weren't afraid? And then go through this methodology. Go through the Fear Forward method, go through the Fear Forward practice, and make it a sacred thing. Light a candle, say a prayer if you pray, set an intention, speak a mantra if you like mantras, right? Call a friend, phone another friend. I don't care. Make the attention there to be able to say, I am no longer willing to participate in the limitation of fear. Meaning, I am no longer willing to perform fear in the way that I know people have. When people are afraid in our society, we know what it looks like. They stop doing things, they procrastinate, they spiral, they whatever. That is an active participation and an active choice to show up that way. What I'm asking you to do is say, yeah, I'm no longer interested in performing that way. I would rather perform fear in a way that says, yes, I'm afraid. I honor that. This is how I would feel. I honor that. This is what I would do. I honor that. This is what I'm going to systematize. I honor that. Let that be your new participation of fear. Yeah. And like I said, elevation experience is a space that I do this work in the most. You know, type of people that are drawn to that space are coaches, consultants, creators, executives. I very purposely attract a certain type of person, and we call it Elevation Experience, the Life and Success Expansion Program. Because what we're doing in this space is we are taking your life and we're saying, yes, what are all the things that make you want, that make you feel successful? And let's get there. Let's expand it. Let's make it the biggest. Because here at Your Other Mind, we believe that not only were we created to do something, when we came here, we're meant to have a bigger impact on each other than we let ourselves have through like things like war and things like debt and things like these collective ideas of like what it means to be human. That if Tanisha never existed, there's no gift that being given to the world. And all of us have something to contribute to society. You're an expert for a reason. You're an expert at some level of life for a reason. You've been through things for a reason. And it's on you and on me and on all of us to take that inspiration and be the impact that we are meant to be on each other, to further our societies, to make things better. And our careers and our business is usually how we do that. So I believe that business is just what happens when a soul or a spirit is activated within a person. When a spirit is activated, they naturally want to share their gifts with the world. You know, when a spirit is activated, they naturally want to be promoted so they make the biggest impact possible. When a spirit is activated, they naturally want to show up and participate in community because they know they have something to offer as well as something to receive. So yeah. Truth about fear. This is what we got going on. So yeah, again, if you need the well, after this, we'll send out an email to everyone on our email list. So if you're not on our email list, please get on it. It'll probably just be an invitation saying, hey, Elevation Experience, we here, we live, you know, you're more than welcome to accept the invitation. And separate from that, next week, next Thursday at 7 p.m., we'll be doing the Business Blind Spots Workshop, okay? The Business Blind Spots Workshop is going to be how to infuse your energy into all things you do, your business, your things. So thank you for joining this conversation. I want to speak this over you. You are in the perfect place at the perfect time. Everything that you feel is exactly right on time, right now. The most important time for you and me is the now. All we have is the now. You are divinely and wonderfully created. You are an expert in your own experience, and someone is waiting to hear from you. And you are your highest good in the now, actualize and realize. Give yourself permission to be more than you let yourself be in the last 30 days, 60 days, 365 days, 1,000 days. And joy is inherently and naturally yours. You get to be excited. You get to be happy. You get to be liberated and fun and free. And every idea you have is the perfect idea. And there are no accidents in the universe. So you're here at the perfect time, at the perfect place on purpose. And I want you to think about that. And everything is always working out for you. Okay. Ashe. Amen. So it is. Okay. I hope to see you all soon. Be well, be blessed, celebrate, and be creative. Peace, y'all.